Hi, I'm Dana. Welcome to Tools and Tips to Owning Your Worth. Today is a big day. I've dropped all these different episodes in order to prepare for today's episode, and I'm pretty sure there's probably even still more. We are going to tackle boundaries. How do we set them? And hopefully, why do we set them? So before I start, I was going to tell you below there are going to be links to learning to say no, emotional detachment, you can't make people feel, living fully in our bodies, sitting in discomfort, and whatever else I come up with as we go along. Because we need all of those things in order to set proper boundaries. Why would we set a boundary? Because somebody is taking advantage of us. Because someone is abusing us in some way. That is why we set a boundary. We have got to stay inside of our bodies and begin to understand that we are being taken advantage of or that we are being abused in some way before we can even imagine the boundary. So that's tool number one, is own your worth. People, own your worth. You're the expert on you, and you lay your head down on the pillow at night, and the only person you have to answer to, truly, is you. So if people are shooting you, judging you, telling you how to live your life, trying to live your life for you, threatening you, those are all situations where boundaries are necessary. But we can't get there if we're not owning our worth. So own you. And we oftentimes have difficulty when we start practicing saying no or setting boundaries because we're afraid. We're afraid of upsetting people. Well, we can't make people feel, so who cares about that one? And we're afraid to set boundaries because of the backlash. Something is going to happen. First of all, we've talked about gifts wrapped in sandpaper on this channel before, and I've also said that there's nothing that's all good and there's nothing that's all bad. So setting boundaries to protect yourself is the most loving, mature, responsible thing that you can do for yourself when you're in a situation where you're being taken advantage of or abused. If a person, let's give an example. If a person in your life is constantly telling you how to live your life, that makes you feel uncomfortable or hurt or angry or judged, that would be a perfect time to simply look at that person and say, I am in charge of me, and I would appreciate you not giving me your advice. That is a boundary. Plain and simple, that is a boundary. Okay? If that is too difficult and you're just practicing and you're not used to setting boundaries, when I first started setting boundaries, I literally would look at the person and say, I'm setting a boundary, because I didn't have any skills. So why not just tell them the truth? I'm setting a boundary. I don't like the way that this relationship is going. I don't feel that it's healthy. And so this is how I'm going to try and heal myself and raise the vibration of this relationship. And that person has free will. They can choose to appreciate and accept the boundary. They can rebel against the boundary. Either way, it has nothing to do with them and everything to do with you. So check in with your body. Check in with your body. If you leave a phone conversation, you leave a conversation, or you leave an interaction with someone and you are feeling icky, okay? I'm not going to define icky for you. You have to define icky yourself. Please, I am asking you to sit in the discomfort of that icky. Go underneath any anger that shows up. Decide where the disconnect is with that person, and then create a boundary that protects you in the future from feeling icky when you're with that person. it may, in extreme cases, be that you're just not with that person. Because if they reject time and time again your attempts at becoming healthier in that relationship, what other choice do you have than to leave the relationship? Because again, we are supposed to, in a perfect world, love ourselves above everyone else. Owning your worth means we need to love ourselves. And staying in an abusive situation is the opposite of loving yourself. So I'm going to invite all of you to check out all those other videos I've linked below. Please continue to ask questions in the comments. I'm loving them. I know this topic is extremely difficult, and that's why I've really tried to just pare it down. Setting boundaries is all about you choosing your health. So, thank you to my subscribers. If you're new to the channel, I hope that you like this episode, and if it resonates, please consider subscribing. Until next time. Namaste.